You're 9 months pregnant, barely able to tie your own shoes, counting down the days until that little miracle arrives. And then out of nowhere your husband packs a bag and walks out. No warning. No real explanation. Just gone. But here's the part that still makes my blood boil. Years later, your phone lights up with his name, and he's calling. Voice cracking, acting like he never meant to hurt you. What he doesn't know, while he was walking away, he was leaving behind not just me and our baby, but a secret worth $66 million. Yeah. Buckle up, this one's about betrayal that cuts deep and the kind of justice that feels earned. Hey y'all, if that hook grabbed you, and I bet it did, smash that subscribe button so you catch every raw, real revenge story like this. And comment right now. Where are you tuning in from? Rainy Seattle? Hot Miami? Let's connect in the comments, tell me your city. Okay, let's get into it. I'm Avery, 28 years old, straight up New Yorker through and through. I've always been the type who believes in love, the messy, ride or die kind. The kind where you think if you just love hard enough, everything else falls into place. It all kicked off in college at NYU. I was knee-deep in business classes, hustling for good grades and dreaming of building something of my own one day. That's when Caleb showed up. He was this laid-back guy from Brooklyn, killer smile, always cracking jokes about his big family dinners. We clicked instantly. Late night study sessions turned into walks across the Brooklyn Bridge, sharing cheap tacos and big dreams. He worked as a graphic designer back then, grinding for his shot at something bigger. Me? I played it low-key. My dad ran this huge tech company out in Silicon Valley, 66 million empire, but I never flaunted it. I didn't want handouts or people seeing dollar signs instead of me. So to Caleb, I was just Avery from a regular spot in Queens. No fancy family stories, no trust fund vibes. Our love story felt like magic at first. Picnics in Central Park, dancing in the rain, talking about forever. He proposed on a snowy evening in Bryant Park with a ring he'd saved months for, simple, heartfelt. I said yes, tears and all. We had a cozy wedding in a little Brooklyn venue, his loud Italian family filling the place with hugs and pasta. My dad flew in from California, quiet but beaming. He covered things without making a fuss, the way he always did. For a while, life was good. We got a cute apartment in Manhattan. Caleb scored a solid job at an ad firm, and I built my marketing career freelance. Then came the pregnancy news. We found out on a chilly October morning. Caleb picked me up and twirled me around the kitchen, yelling, "We're gonna be parents." We picked names, painted the nursery soft blues and yellows. Willow for a girl, after my late mom. It felt like we'd built this perfect little world. But things started shifting. Caleb pulled more late nights at work, coming home distant. Sometimes he'd smell like vanilla perfume, not mine. I'd ask, he'd say client lunch or team drinks. Pregnancy made me extra sensitive, so I brushed it off. We fought about money, sometimes he stressed about bills, and I never mentioned dad could help. I wanted us to stand on our own. By month 8, he was barely there. I'd sit on the couch alone, hand on my belly, wondering if the baby scared him off. Then, one random Tuesday when I was 9 months along swollen ankles, can't sleep nights, he sat me down. "Avery, this isn't working," he said, staring at the floor. "I met someone. She's easier. No baby coming. No complications." My heart stopped. Her name was Lauren, some coworker he'd been seeing behind my back for months. He grabbed his stuff that night and left for her apartment in Jersey. No hug. No "I'll check on you." Nothing. Just the door clicking shut. The days after were hell. Tears, doctor's appointments, pure shock. Labor hit early from the stress, and I had Willow alone in that hospital room, holding her tiny fingers, promising I'd be everything she needed. The betrayal hit like a freight train. How do you abandon your pregnant wife like that? Like we meant nothing? But what Caleb didn't know, what nobody really knew, was that my quiet life was hiding a massive shift. Dad's company was about to change everything. I still get chills thinking about the moment Caleb walked out, 9 months pregnant, baby due any day, and the man I thought was my forever just vanished. Left me staring at an empty closet and a half-painted nursery. But here's where the story flips, and trust me, it flips hard. What he threw away wasn't just a marriage. It was a future he never even saw coming. If you're still with me, and I hope you're, drop a like right now if you're mad for Avery too. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it so you catch the moment justice starts knocking. Comment your thoughts. Have you ever been blindsided like this? Where are you watching from today? Let's keep this energy going. So there I was, alone in that Manhattan apartment. Willow kicking like she knew something was wrong. The labor came fast and furious. Stress does that, they say. I called a friend to drive me to the hospital because, no husband around. Holding Willow for the first time. This tiny perfect thing with my eyes and his nose. I broke down. Not just crying ugly, soul-deep sobs. How could someone walk away from this? From us? I felt worthless. Like I'd failed at the one thing that mattered most. The first few months were survival mode. Diapers, midnight feedings, bills piling up. I went back to freelance marketing gigs when Willow was 6 weeks old. Zoom calls with spit up on my shoulder, muting myself during cries. Money was tight. Caleb sent child support once, then nothing. Said he was starting over with Lauren, apparently. I heard through mutual friends they'd moved in together quick. Posted pictures of beach trips while I was learning to be a single mom. But here's the part nobody saw coming, not even me at first. My dad, Richard Hayes, the quiet man who'd always been there in the background. He called one rainy afternoon when Willow was about 3 months old. "Avery, sweetheart," he said, voice softer than usual. "It's time we talked about the company. See, Dad's tech firm Hayes Innovations had been quietly exploding. AI software for logistics, the kind big corporations pay millions for. He'd built it from nothing after Mom died, poured everything into it. And for years, he'd kept me out of the spotlight because I wanted my own path. But now, he was ready to step back. He flew to New York the next week, sat me down in my tiny living room, Willow asleep on my chest, and laid it out. The company was valued at $66 million, and I was the sole heir. Not just money, control, board seats, the whole thing. He'd kept it secret so Caleb wouldn't know, so nobody could accuse me of riding coattails. "You earned your independence," Dad said, "but you don't have to struggle anymore." I sat there stunned. All those times we'd argued over rent, all the nights I worried about formula costs. It could have been different, but honestly, I'm glad it wasn't, because that struggle made me stronger. Dad helped set things up, trusts for Willow, financial advisors, even a bigger apartment uptown so we had space. I didn't quit working. I just shifted, started consulting for Dad's company part-time, learning the ropes. It felt empowering, like I was finally stepping into who I was meant to be. And the money changed things. No more ramen dinners. Willow got the best pediatrician, a nanny when I needed to work late. But more than that, it gave me back my dignity. I wasn't the abandoned pregnant wife anymore. I was Avery Hayes, building something real. About a year after Willow was born, I met Logan, total opposite of Caleb, steady, kind, no drama. He was a software engineer at a startup. Met him at a networking event that dragged me to. First date, coffee turned into 3 hours of talking. He didn't care about the money. He cared about the late night stories I'd tell about Willow's first steps. He was patient, funny, showed up. When I told him my story, really told him, he just listened. Then said, "You didn't deserve that. But look at what you built anyway." We took it slow. Dated for a year. Got engaged quietly on a rooftop in Brooklyn overlooking the city lights. Married in a small ceremony. Dad walked me down the aisle this time, tears in his eyes. Logan adopted Willow officially. She's his daughter in every way that matters. Life felt whole again. Willow was toddling around, calling him Dada, and I finally slept through the night without that knot in my chest. But the past? It wasn't done with me yet. Because one random Tuesday afternoon, my phone rang. Unknown number at first, but I recognized the area code, Jersey. My stomach dropped. I answered anyway. "Avery? It's Caleb." I froze. 2 years of silence. And now this. His voice cracked like he was nervous. "I need to talk to you, please." I could have hung up. Should have maybe. But something, anger, curiosity, maybe a little leftover hope, made me stay on the line. What he said next, it changed everything all over again. The second his voice came through the speaker, Avery, it's Caleb, everything inside me went still. 2 years. 2 whole years of radio silence. No birthday cards for Willow. No check-ins, nothing. And now he's calling like we're old friends catching up. My hand tightened around the phone so hard I thought it might crack. I didn't say anything at first. Just let the silence stretch until he started rambling. Avery, listen. I know I messed up. Bad. Really bad. I've been thinking about you, about both of you every day. I was scared back then. Immature. I thought I wasn't ready for a kid, for the responsibility. But I was wrong. I want to make it right. Can we meet? Just talk. I miss you. I miss what we had. I laughed. Not a happy laugh, a short, bitter one that surprised even me. You miss what we had? Caleb, you left me 9 months pregnant. You left me in labor alone. You left Willow before she even took her first breath. And now you miss it? He went quiet for a second, then softer. I know. I hate myself for it. Lauren and I. It didn't last. She left 6 months ago. I've been alone, trying to figure things out. I heard through a friend that you're doing really well now. Like, really well. Your dad's company and all that. I didn't know, Avery. If I'd known. That's when the anger hit full force, hot and sharp. If you'd known what? That I wasn't just some broke single mom scraping by? That there was money involved? Is that what this call is about, Caleb? You Googled my name one day, saw the headlines about Hayes Innovations going public, and suddenly you miss me? No, that's not it. He rushed out. I swear. I regret everything. I want to see Willow, be part of her life, be part of yours again, please. I paced the living room, Willow napping in her room down the hall. Logan was at work, but I could picture his calm face. If he were here, he'd tell me to breathe, to decide what I really wanted. And what I wanted him to feel even a fraction of the pain he'd caused. Not revenge for revenge's sake, justice. The kind that comes when someone finally sees the full picture of what they threw away. I kept my voice steady. You want to talk? Fine. Coffee. Tomorrow. That little place on 72nd. The one we used to go to. And bring whatever apology you've rehearsed. But know this. Caleb, I'm not the same person you left. He sounded relieved. Thank you. I'll be there. I promise. I hung up before he could say more. Then I sat on the couch and shook for a good 10 minutes. Part of me wanted to cancel, block him forever. But another part, the part that still carried the scar of that empty hospital room, wanted him to look me in the eye and realize exactly what he'd lost. That night I told Logan everything. He listened like always, no judgment, just held my hand. You don't owe him anything, he said quietly. But if facing him helps you close that chapter for good, I've got your back, always. Then he kissed my forehead and went to check on Willow. That's Logan steady when I'm spinning. The next morning I got ready like it was any other day. Put on the simple black dress I'd worn to my first board meeting with Dad's company. Nothing flashy, but it fit like armor. Willow was with the nanny, giggling over breakfast. I hugged her extra tight before I left. Mommy's going to handle some grown-up stuff, I whispered. But I'll be back soon, okay? The coffee shop hadn't changed, same wooden tables, same smell of fresh espresso. Caleb was already there, looking smaller than I remembered. Thinner, eyes tired, wearing a button-down that looked like he'd ironed it himself. He stood when he saw me, tried a small smile. You look good, Avery. Really good. I sat across from him. No smile. Let's skip the small talk. Why are you really here? He swallowed hard. I meant what I said on the phone. I regret it. Every day. I was stupid, selfish. I thought running away would make things easier. It didn't. I see pictures of Willow online. Your dad posted one at her 2nd birthday. She's beautiful. She looks like you. I want to know her. I want to be her dad. I leaned forward. You're not her dad, Caleb. Logan is. He's the one who reads her bedtime stories, who holds her when she's scared of thunder, who taught her how to ride a bike last summer. You're the guy who walked out when she needed you most. His face crumpled. I know I can't erase that, but maybe I can start now. I'll do whatever it takes, therapy, child support, visitation, anything. I studied him. The man I once loved was gone. This was someone trying to rewrite history because he finally saw the price tag on what he'd discarded. And yeah, Part of me enjoyed watching him squirm, but I wasn't here to torture him. I was here to end it. I'm remarried, Caleb. Happily. Willow calls Logan dad, and he's earned every bit of that title. You don't get to stroll back in because life got lonely for you. You don't get to play family man now that you know there's a $66 million safety net behind us. He flinched like I'd slapped him. It's not about the money. It's always been about what you value. I cut in. You valued easy over us. You valued Lauren over your own child. And now you value regret because the grass wasn't greener. But guess what? I'm not grass you can walk back over. I'm done. I stood up, bag over my shoulder. Don't call me again. Don't reach out to Willow. If you try, my lawyers will handle it, and trust me, they're very good. Take care of yourself, Caleb, but do it far away from us. I walked out without looking back. The bell above the door jingled like a full stop. Outside, the city noise swallowed me up, taxis honking, people rushing. I took a deep breath, felt the weight lift just a little. Not all of it. Some scars stay. But I'd faced him. I'd said what needed saying, and I'd walked away on my terms. When I got home, Logan was waiting with Willow on his hip. She reached for me immediately. Mommy! I took her, buried my face in her curls, and let the tears come quiet once this time. Relief. Closure. Strength. But the story wasn't over quite yet, because a few weeks later, something else happened. Something that sealed the justice I'd been chasing all alone. A few weeks after that coffee shop showdown, life felt lighter than it had in years. Willow was turning 3 soon, chattering nonstop about princesses and dinosaurs. And Logan and I were planning a little family trip upstate, just us. No drama. No ghosts from the past. I'd blocked Caleb's number, told my lawyer to flag any attempts at contact, and honestly, I thought that was the end of it. Closure. Done. Then the email came. Subject: I'm sorry. And I get it now. From an address I didn't recognize at first. Crazy how you still know someone's writing style even after years. It was Caleb, but different. No begging. No excuses. Just honest. He wrote that after our meeting, he'd spent nights replaying every word I said. He admitted he'd only reached out when he saw the company news articles about Hayes Innovations hitting new valuations. Photos of me at events with Dad. He'd convinced himself it was about regret, about Willow, but deep down, it was the money, the stability, the life he could have had if he hadn't run. Reading that hurt in a weird way, not because I still loved him, but because it confirmed everything I'd suspected. He wasn't sorry for hurting me. He was sorry he'd missed out on the jackpot. But here's where it got interesting. He attached a screenshot, a text conversation from a couple months back with one of our old mutual friends. In it, Caleb was actually bragging about how he'd almost locked down the Heiress back in the day, how if he'd stuck around, he'd be set for life, how he'd dodged a bullet by leaving before the baby tied him down. The friend had called him out, said he was disgusting, and Caleb just laughed it off in the messages. Her loss, he typed. I'm better off. Seeing that, it didn't break me, it freed me. I forwarded the whole thing to my lawyer with one line: keep this on file. If he ever tries anything, visitation, paternity claim, whatever, use it. Then I deleted the email, poured myself a glass of wine, and sat on the balcony watching the city lights. For the first time, the betrayal didn't feel like a wound. It felt like proof I'd dodged something toxic. A month later, the real payoff landed. Dad called me into the office, his New York branch, not the Valley HQ. He'd been quietly buying up shares in a rival startup Caleb worked for now. Nothing hostile, just smart business. But when the acquisition went through, Caleb's position got restructured, not fired outright. That would have been too petty, and Dad's not like that. Just moved to a much smaller role, lower pay, no equity. The kind of shift that makes you rethink your life choices. I didn't orchestrate it. I didn't ask for it. But when Dad told me, casual over coffee, funny how paths cross again, huh? We both smiled a little. Not cruel, just satisfied. Karma doesn't always need a dramatic scene. Sometimes it's quiet, corporate, and perfectly timed. Caleb never reached out again. No more calls, no emails. No, for Willow's sake, please. He faded back into whatever life he'd built without us. And me? I kept building. Willow started preschool, obsessed with painting and asking a million questions. Logan and I bought a house in the suburbs backyard, swing set, the works. Dad comes over for Sunday dinners now. Tells Willow stories about her grandma she never met. Family isn't perfect, but it's ours. Looking back, the $66 million was never the point. It was the mirror Caleb couldn't face. He walked away thinking he was trading up. Turns out he traded away everything that mattered. And I reclaimed what was mine, my worth, my daughter's future, my peace. If there's one thing this whole mess taught me, it's this. Loyalty isn't blind. It's earned. And when it's betrayed, you don't have to scream or plot. Sometimes you just stand tall, live well, and let life do the rest. Thanks for sticking with me through all of it, the tears, the anger, the turnaround. If this story hit home for you, drop a comment. What's one betrayal you've turned into strength? And subscribe if you want more real ones like this. Who knows what's next? For now, though, I'm good. We're good. Take care out there.